Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Liz, and I'm so excited for today's video. I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite home decor trends and hacks that I can't wait to do. Some of these trends and hacks I've seen on Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, and some of them are ones that you guys have actually sent me. That's the case with this first project. This was sent to me by one of my subscribers, Nina. I thought this idea was so genius, I asked her if it would be okay if I share it with you guys, and she was cool with it. So for this project, you're gonna wanna get 2 glass vases from Dollar Tree. Here's the secret. You're going to want to get one of IKEA's set of wooden coasters. I have bought these before and used them in other projects, so of course I had both items I needed for this project.
Oh, I think, oh my gosh, they have quite a few. Okay, so they have these 2-pack of wood coasters. This is what they look like right up here, and they're $1.99. So I'm going to pick up 2 packs.
It is so simple, you guys. All you do is take the wooden coaster and put it on the top of the glass container. Like, really? Is it that easy? And these make the best containers for Q-tips and cotton balls in your bathroom. Like, I'm blown away. You guys, is this not the coolest thing you've ever seen? Thank you so much, Nina, for sharing this with me. I hope you guys go and recreate this. I want to thank Grammarly for sponsoring today's video. Now you may be wondering, what is Grammarly? It's a digital writing assistant, and it's really changed how I communicate. You can download Grammarly completely for free by going to grammarly.com/Liz. From there, you click Add to Chrome, and then it'll say Add to Extension. Grammarly is now installed and you're able to use it. Now, why do you want to use Grammarly? Well, the cool thing about it is it pops up on your Google Docs or your emails anytime you're using it. You don't even have to think about it because it's an extension. Now, the free version of Grammarly is really cool because it does things like checking for spelling mistakes and grammatical errors, which we all need help with. So you could stick with the free version, or you can upgrade to the premium version, which is the one that I have, which goes a lot more in depth with your writing feedback. So let's talk about some of the cool things that Grammarly does. One thing it does whenever you're writing an email or Google Doc or anything on your computer, it will give you a vocabulary suggestion for those boring words that you're writing. It also gives clarity suggestions, which is the part that I need the most. It basically tells you those words that you're writing that you need to cut out, that just don't need to be there. And I find this so helpful when I'm writing an email. Grammarly does the tone detection, which will let you know if your email is sounding positive and professional. So it's super easy to sign up. All you're gonna do is go to grammarly.com/Liz to sign up for your free account. And if you wanna upgrade to the premium account like I have, Grammarly is going to give you 20% off today. Make sure you go through my link, grammarly.com/Liz, and I'll put all the links for you down in the description box. This next trend is with creating wall art with craft paper. So I decided I would make my own with products from Dollar Tree. So I picked up a roll of craft paper. I also picked up a really long bamboo skewer. Now they have these out at Dollar Tree in like their section where it's like their barbecue type stuff. So this is the time of year where they're going to be putting these out. So I have a pack of them. I bought mine last year, but grab a pack of them because they're great for projects. So I started by taking the skewer and sticking it through the paper. Then I used some twine that I already had, and I'm going to tie it to both sides. Now, after I tied it, I did go back in and add a little glue to the edge just to make sure it was really secure. Next, you're gonna roll out your paper however long you want it to be for your project. Now, since the paper is in a roll, it's going to naturally roll up, and I didn't want that to happen. So I found some wood that I already had on hand. These are actually shims that I purchased for another project. You could use a piece of wood, you could use a piece of cardboard, pretty much anything here. And what I did was I glued it at the bottom of the paper, and then I wrapped it up one time and glued it in place. Now, whenever I hang this up, it's going to weigh down the bottom so it's nice and straight. Then I took the paper and flipped it over to the front side. I picked up a sponge in like the little loofah section at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut the sponge in half so I have a half circle. Next, I'm going to use my Waverly white chalk paint. I'm going to make a fun pattern across the edge. Now, this I just kind of did randomly. Sometimes I'd take my half circle and put them both the same direction. Sometimes I'd face them to each other, flip them out. Really, this is the fun part, being creative. I just tried to not use the same pattern next to each other in the little grid. And I did this all the way up. You could repeat this pattern for however big you wanted your piece to be. Let this dry completely, and then you have a really cute boho wall hanging to hang up. All right, so we're going to be mixing up the trends with hacks. So this is a hack that I think is perfect for hanging your pictures on the wall and keeping them straight. Have you ever walked by a picture and noticed that it's like constantly getting crooked? Well, here's a hack to help with that. Take your picture off the wall. Then what you're gonna do is at the bottom, you're gonna use your hot glue gun and make hot glue circles in the two bottom corners. Then whenever you hang your picture back up on the wall, these circles are going to help as like little rubber buffers, and it's going to help hold your picture in place. Like, how genius is that? And it really costs nothing. So you guys know I love to make a rope tray, and let me know in the comments if you're getting sick of my rope trays. I can calm it down a bit, but I love to make them. So it's really easy. You're gonna need a clear tray from Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some nautical rope. Now you can pick that up at Dollar Tree, but I like to get mine off of Amazon. I'll link it down below for you. And you're just gonna start in the middle of the tray, wrapping it around and hot gluing as you go to hold the rope in place. And when you get to the edge of your rope tray, you're going to take that final end, make sure that you do a lap and cover up all of the clear tray. Then you're going to take your rope and hot glue it to the back. Now, I've been seeing all over Pottery Barn's website, I've been seeing all these really cool baskets that they hang on the wall. This one I knew that I could recreate with Dollar Tree's paint pen. So I grabbed the Dollar Tree black paint pen. You guys, I love these paint pens. If you see them, grab them. Next, I created a little template with my craft paper because I was making petals and I needed to do 4 of them and I wanted them to be the exact same size. So I made a template and then I laid it down and put it in place with some painter's tape. Next, I drew around the edges. From there, I took the stencil and put it on the other side opposite of it and did the same thing. I also did that on both sides. So this kind of started my whole project. Once I got that in place, it was kind of easy to do everything else. From there, I drew an extra petal in between each of my 4 petals. Once I got that done, I wanted to create a double line to mimic that Pottery Barn piece that I saw and wanted to recreate. So I just went along and added a second line. And I think this is pretty close to the Pottery Barn piece. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So this next hack, I definitely knew about it, but I wanted to tell you guys about it because I feel like it's something that's so cool if we actually utilized it. So it's where you take a rubber band and you put it around your paint cans. The reason that you do this whenever you're painting is so that when you dip your brush in and you pull it back up, instead of scraping the paint on the side, you actually scrape it on the rubber band. The reason to do this is that you don't get all that paint around the edge, and then when you put your lid on, it's like all gunky and then the paint hardens. I think this would really help to preserve our paint cans and make them last longer. So I love this hack. It's pretty inexpensive and it's just one of those things that we need to remember to do. So there's so many fun hacks around Dollar Tree vases. I actually saw this hack on TikTok. If you guys aren't following me on TikTok, you really should. I post fun videos of all my DIY projects. My name on TikTok is Liz Fenwick DIY. But this project I saw, so you just need to get a clear glass container from Dollar Tree. You could really use any one you wanted. I got the round one. And then you're also going to want to get the clear stones that they sell at Dollar Tree. Next, you're going to take your hot glue gun and start putting the stones all around the edge. Now, I have to say, whenever I was doing this project, I really liked the way it looked clear. So I definitely think you could have this sitting out looking clear. Like, you really couldn't tell that I used hot glue underneath, and I thought it looked kind of cool. But in the end, I decided to go ahead and add some spray paint to it. So I used 2 coats of a matte Rust-Oleum spray paint, and I spray painted one side, let it dry, and flipped it over and did the other side. You could put any plant in here. I added in a succulent that I had from Dollar Tree. All right, so now I have a hack for you. You guys are gonna have to let me know if you like the hacks and the trends and the DIYs. Let me know what you think of this video. But this hack is to help you with removing all those stickers. But if you want something that's not gonna create a big mess, all you need to do is get out your blow dryer, keep it on the hot setting, and you're just going to heat up your label probably for like 20-30 seconds. Once you heat it up, it activates that glue and you can easily remove the label. So this is great for those Dollar Tree labels that stick and will never come off. So you guys have probably seen this twist candle DIY. And it just looks so fun. Like those are the DIYs I love. I love the ones that just look fun and you're like, ooh, I can't wait to make that. So I knew I had to recreate these. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I got some tapered candles. The reason I bought them at Hobby Lobby is because I wanted them to be colored. If you wanted some basic ones, you could get them that were white. You could get them at Dollar Tree. So I got the tapered candles from Hobby Lobby and I picked my colors, which are blues and greens. I ended up buying 5 of these candles. So here's how you do this. It's pretty easy. So you want to get pretty warm water. The first time I did this, I used like a lukewarm water. It wasn't warm enough. So I went to hot water and put it in my container and then it worked okay. So I put hot water in my container, then you're going to submerge all of your candles in there for about 15-20 minutes. Next, you're gonna take out one candle. You're gonna know if this candle is ready because it's gonna be pliable. You're gonna be able to mold it. Next, you're gonna need some kind of rolling pin. I just had a little dowel rod, so that's what I used. And I flattened out my candle on either side. Next, you're gonna take your candle and you're going to twist it. Now, some of them I twisted one time, some I twisted a little bit more, but it's totally personal preference. After you get the candles the way you want, you're gonna put them in cold water so it just kind of hardens them up again. Now, I will say when you do this project, buy a couple of extra because I bought 5 candles and only 3 survived. One of them just snapped, actually 2 of them just completely snapped in half and didn't work. Maybe I wasn't patient enough with it. I don't know. So I would buy a couple of extras when you're doing this, but here's how these look on my mantle. Rattan and yarn mirrors are really popular right now. So I wanted to recreate one for you guys. So I grabbed an 8x10 mirror at IKEA. I also grabbed some cardboard. I had this left over from a Dollar Tree project. And I'm gonna start by using my mat to kind of draw out straight lines around my mirror. I want about maybe 1.5 inches on each side of my mirror. Next, I'm gonna come in with my rotary cutter and cut straight lines to make my cardboard nice and straight. Then I'm going to hot glue the mirror to the center of my cardboard. I decided I wanted to use macrame around the edge and I wanted it to be braided. So what I did was I cut off really long pieces and I cut off 6 pieces. And then once I got the long pieces cut off, I taped them down to my craft table. Then I'm gonna take 2 strands for each of my braid, and I'm just gonna do a basic 3-strand braid. Sorry, I'm kind of sounding like my old hair channel because we used to do 4-strand and 5-strand braids. So yeah, you're just gonna do a basic braid. Now I braided all the way to the end, so I had this like big long braid. Now I don't know how, but somehow I made this magically be the perfect size. I was thinking I was gonna have to add additional, but I don't know. Somehow it was the perfect size. So at the top where I had taped it down, I hot glued those pieces together and cut off the excess. And then I started by hot gluing it closest to the mirror, wrapping it around. Once I got the first layer onto my mirror, I wanted to wrap around a second layer. Now, as I was doing that, I had to cut off some of the cardboard because I didn't account for how long the braid was gonna be. So as I went on the second layer, I cut off some extra cardboard. And as you can see, I had just enough to wrap it around the back and hot glue the excess in place. And here's a look at how this cute little mirror turned out. So this next hack is one that I use every year in the springtime. So Dollar Tree has these awesome solar lights. They work well. I've never had one that really hasn't worked well. So I picked up 3 solar lights, and then I also picked up 3 of these cute new little glass containers that they have in the plate section at Dollar Tree. So you're going to remove the bottom half of your solar lights. You're also going to remove the lids on your glass container. Next, you're going to add hot glue to the outside of your solar light, and you're going to stick it down into your container. Now, this is so easy. I like to set these out on my patio. They illuminate and make great light on your patio in the evening. All right, you guys, let me know if you like seeing these home decor hacks and trends video. If you like them, I will do more for you in the future. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. And if you missed our last video, I'll link it here for you. And I'll talk to you guys in our next one. Bye.